Gave her away, and she aimed a quick wink at me. Charlie cleared his throat, and Mr. Alfred blushed. "My apologies." He hurriedly passed brochures to us, explaining that Ridgewood, an innovative senior residence, featured numerous amenities. Tenants can utilize our support offerings on an as-needed basis. The library, the craft room, the van that takes people shopping, and the organized outings are all yours to enjoy. He looked at me over his eyeglasses before continuing. The majority of our residents take advantage of packages that provide varying levels of support. Most include meals in the dining room, but we also offer distribution of medications, cleaning, even help with bathing as people get older and might want more assistance. I turned away at that last bit. I could wash my own bottom, thank you very much. I was only 72. And despite the recent falls that had quite literally landed me here, I was in good health and sound mind. I didn't need reminding that this might be my home for a long time. Mr. Alfred droned on at my son and daughter. I could tell he had decided they were his main audience. I slipped down a hallway off the lobby to a small chapel, open at all hours to residents in need. Near the entrance was a discreet notice about the monthly memorial for those who have passed on from the Ridgewood community. Mr. Alfred didn't call quite as much attention to that. I returned to where he stood with my children. Mr. Alfred was easily 6.5 feet tall and blockish as a wrestler. His voice, as one would expect from such an oversized throat, was a booming baritone. It took only a minute to realize that his size was in inverse proportion to his charisma. He was as devoid of charm as boxed vanilla pudding, or perhaps the box itself. "You're very fortunate," he was saying. "Our units aren't available very often." Iris turned to me and lifted her eyebrow in that way she had, and I fought the sarcastic urge to say, "Yes, very fortunate indeed." I bit my tongue to keep from asking what happened to the last resident, because I didn't want to irritate Charlie. Besides, it wasn't too tough to guess. I suppose whoever it was could have moved to Florida, but I had a feeling the answer was more depressing. Though, judging from the visit I had made to an old friend a few years back, there might not be anything more depressing than retiring to Florida. Iris sent me a warning glance before smiling at Mr. Alfred. "Yes, we're so glad something is available." Much as I hated to admit it, she was right. Ridgewood was a nice place, and if I couldn't return to my condo, there weren't a lot of choices. When Cal and I had first moved to Willow Park, it was practically in the country, and the 40 miles to Chicago made the big city seem like a distant shore, a destination for special outings. But now Willow Park was just another suburb. Rush-hour commuters clogged the road heading to the next town over to catch the Metra train, and ugly beige townhomes were springing up along the highway. Other than Ridgewood, the retirement apartments in the area were either expensive golfing communities, which held zero appeal for me, or repurposed sections of nursing homes with nasty carpet and bad smells. Iris kept telling me how lucky we were that Ridgewood just happened to have something. I understood what she meant, but I didn't feel all that lucky. Ever since Cal's death 6 years ago, Charlie had fretted and nagged at me about living alone in the condo. I tried not to be distrustful and assume he wanted to be rid of me, which is what the devil on my shoulder whispered in my ear when I felt sorry for myself. At one memorable discussion, in which Charlie tried to convince me to move, I said as much. He looked like I'd slapped him. He had reddish-brown, amber-colored eyes, like those of a golden retriever, and equally as expressive. "How can you say that, Mom?" He draped his arms around me and spoke into the top of my head. "I just want you to be around as long as possible. We've had enough bad things happen." Once again, the cloud of our family tragedy blocked out the sun. The wounds were deep, and the scars had formed in welted, jagged lines. Charlie was right. I was a terrible mother for thinking so ungenerously. But I didn't want to move, and Iris was sympathetic about that. She's tender-hearted, my daughter, even more so since Bethany's accident. But Iris changed her mind after my last fall.